Good morning. I am Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. And as usual, we got a lot lined up on today's program, so I think I'm going to get straight to it. One of my favorite people, he's a regular contributor on the program, is my good friend Doug Williamson. He is a regular contributor on the show, has been for quite some time, brings great insight on what's happening on the political and economic front. He's an author of an awesome book. By the way, give us your website right from the beginning. I think it's thepatriotsview.com, correct?
Yes, sir, thepatriotsview.com. How are you, Kevin?
I am
Happy
awesome.
New Year.
How is your New Year starting?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I tell you, it's a very interesting time for people like us who are interested in the whole political front, and lots of stories that are interesting to keep track of.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about your background, which led you to write your book.
Well, I never was really involved in politics. Of course, I've always voted and everything. But, just years ago, back in '08, when this election was going on between McCain and Obama and Hillary at one time, and then Hillary, of course, was taken out. But, it just looked to me like there's just nobody wants to run for president anymore that's worth a flip, So, and I started thinking about, nobody was telling the story about Barack Hussein Obama.
Mm-hmm.
It just, and I'm not a big John McCain, contributor or, he wasn't my first pick either, but it seems like every election now, it just comes down to the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, or the
It's
evil
a
of
shame.
the evil of two lessers, however you want to look at it.
It's crazy, isn't it, Kevin? It's just, and then you start thinking about the kids and grandkids with $19 trillion in debt, and it's just amazing what this country's going to, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. The guy keeps trying to rewrite the Constitution with executive orders, and I sent out a tweet the other day that, and I meant to copy you on. I keep forgetting to put you on these things, but I got a lot of likes and retweets on it. It was anyone in Congress that voted to send, $150 billion to Iran should be tried for treason, including BHO and his entire administration.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me they get away with that.
It's unbelievable. By the way, the book is called Thoughts of an American Taxpayer. It is must-reading. You can learn more about it at thepatriotsview.com. Plus, we've got information about it at priceofbusiness.com, where Doug is a regular contributor. Doug, talk a little bit about your thoughts about this new sweeping regulations that the administration is trying to implement regarding gun laws. I actually think that, first of all, typical, like all Americans, a lot of people are thinking, well, I looked at them, they won't affect me. Actually, what they're going to do is they're going to crush entrepreneurship. They're aimed specifically at entrepreneurs who are trying to go into the gun business and treating them like shady characters. But second of all, those of us who are aware of the gun-grabbing, inclinations of this administration, I, for one, think it's a beautiful thing because it becomes a referendum for 2016 that a lot of apathetic people out there who've had a difficult time voting because of people like John McCain in the past. I think if Mickey Mouse was the GOP nominee, they'll probably come out in droves.
It's sort of ironic, isn't it, Kevin? Because back whenever they were doing that gun running to Mexico, him and Eric Holder, that they were looking for people like that, weren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly right. They were trying to do.
Yeah.
They were trying to get deals going with the exact same type of people that they're trying to target now.
Right.
And so, but I actually think it's a positive for those who support less government that he's doing this. I know it sounds crazy, but I think it has an upside.
I think you're right because I think people are just getting tired of this. They're tired of. Him and people in Congress. Paul Ryan just sits on his butt. Mitch McConnell sits on his butt. They run everything through that he wants to ran through. They're just no different than a Democrat.
Yeah.
There's no difference up there anymore. It seems like in Congress between an R and a D or an I. So independent Democrat and Republican. So it's just it's gotten to the point where something's got to happen either through the governors or the election's got to change it. And that's the reason I think Donald Trump gets so much steam, or he has so much steam going, because people are tired of politicians. Mm-hmm. They say one thing, like Marco Rubio is a perfect example. He'll say a lot of things to get elected. Then once he gets in there, then he'll go along with these other Democrats like McCain. Republicans like McCain, Democrat, whatever you want to call him. He's a Republican, but he's really name only, a rhino. So go along with those guys on making changes. Something like that cesspool up there does something to these guys for some reason.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely
Paul
right.
Ryan. Paul Ryan at one time, I thought the world of him. I mean, it's just these guys just change over time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Talk a little bit about what you see happening on the political front.
Well, this election's heating up, and I guess the primaries are getting ready to start here. What, in February? Is that the first one?
Yep, absolutely.
And,
who do you think's the alternative to Trump that's getting the most buzz? It seems pretty obvious, doesn't it?
Well, I like Ted Cruz. I mean, Ted Cruz has always been one of my front runners, and like I said, I think I came up with a wild idea the other day. I was sitting there thinking that Trump and Cruz just go ahead and announce their ticket, and Donald take over for the first 8 years, and then Cruz take over for the second 8 years. And by then, maybe we'd have this country halfway straightened out. I don't know. It's such a mess right now. I don't know if anybody can straighten it out.
Yeah,
but Cruz is probably the best candidate out there.
Yeah,
by far.
Yeah, no question about that. Of those who are available, no question about it. I continue to think that Scott Walker probably made the most sense, but
I like Scott Walker.
Yeah,
too,
but of those that are still available, I think you're absolutely right, and it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Now it's going to get, now it's got to get real. I personally, when I look at the reality side of what's happening, I can't help but think that that Ted Cruz is the most viable candidate. He has the most money besides Donald Trump, who can write unlimited checks.
Right.
He's got the most money. He has got, by far, head and shoulders above everyone else as far as the ground game, particularly where it really counts, which is in the South. Frankly, I think Super Tuesday is going to determine who the nominee is going to be.
Right.
And I mean, he's like so far ahead on the ground game in places like, Texas and South Carolina and places like that. It's unbelievable. And so I see him coming probably in first or at least second in in Iowa, certainly in the top 3 or 4 in New Hampshire. And I don't think the people of the South are going to be determined by New Hampshire on how they vote. I think they're going to go with Ted Cruz, regardless of those results.
I think he could clinch it if he just held my original version of my book in one hand and put the newer version in the other hand and told the American people about it and screamed from the mountaintop. And there's a bunch of sales out there and people start getting informed on what this government's doing and everything, and I think it'd be great.
There you go.
I need to send Ted a letter, I guess.
Well, in the interim, if you want to see a great platform to get America in the right direction, I want to encourage you to check out that book by going to thepatriotsview.com, thepatriotsview.com. And I love what you do. Keep it up, my friend.
Hey, Kevin, I appreciate you, man. You seem to have the only one faith in this book. I mean, I just can't believe this thing's just not flying off the shelves.
Well, that's not true. We know other people love what you're doing, and I want you to keep it up. All right, when we come back tomorrow, we're going to have, when we come back for you later, we're going to have much more for you. And, I'm still kind of wacky thanks to the holidays, but I'll get back to normal. Just give me time. You're listening to The Price of Business.
Ring, my friend, if it makes you feel all right.